Okay, we have 20 minutes with the student athletes from Kentucky. We have from my right, Oscar Tshiebwe, Chris Livingston, and Cason Wallace. Please remind everybody, please put your cell phone, silence your cell phones. We hand out the handheld mics. Raise your hand, let us know who you are, who you're with. And recording these press conferences on cell phones or cameras is prohibited. We have 20 minutes, and the Kentucky locker room is also open. Who has the first question? Third row right in front of me.
John Huang, NOLA Media. Chris and Cason, when you see Oscar start the game just rebounding like crazy, what's going through your mind? I mean, you see him in practice all the time, but to see him come up in a big game situation like that, what did that do to the mindset of the team?
Chris.
It's definitely something we came accustomed to seeing from Oscar, rebounding the ball very well, coming out with a lot of energy, high intensity. And we knew that coach emphasized rebounding, going against Providence. And he emphasized that, the teams that really bothered them, out-rebounded them by a large margin. So we knew we had to do that in the game, and Oscar, started off right, so we just wanted to match that energy.
Cason?
Like Chris said, it just brought a lot of energy to the team, seeing Oscar be Oscar and get all those rebounds. Brought a little confidence to our shooting a little bit, knowing that if we miss it, we get another chance with Oscar down there cleaning it up.
Third row.
Oscar, Tyler Thompson from Kentucky Sports Radio. Last night, Keontae Johnson told us that you reached out to him after his medical episode when he collapsed, and you two were friends. Can you tell us about your friendship?
Yes, he's my boy. I knew him since high school. So when he went through everything, so I just reached out to him, and I told him, I'm keeping you in my prayer. Let's keep praying. Let's just keep trusting in God. God is going to bring you better than you were before. So that's our friendship is good. Reach out sometimes, check up on him once in a while to see how he's doing.
Cal Shrubnet here with the Kansas City Stars. Questions for Oscar. Kansas State doesn't have a traditional center. Their bigs are a little bit more agile, more of a stretch four. When you go up against guys like that who like to play on the perimeter and inside, how do you change your approach defensively?
They are really good. They're big. He's doing a lot of things to help their team. He's just going to come in, be ready to play because to watch the film, what they are doing, it's a team that is really good. I just gonna come in. We have a team plans, how we're gonna play them. So now I'll be ready for tomorrow too.
Middle of the room.
Alec Bussey, Rivals. Oscar, this one's for you. You're obviously a great rebounder, but when you're in the air, how much do you try and use your body to create space against other players that are also going for rebounds? And how much does that help you?
It helps a lot. First thing is I read the ball most of the time, and I position myself where the ball, sometimes I don't need to jump. It's just going to come in my hands. It needs a lot of effort and a lot of fights. But I use my body a lot when I'm jumping to put in some people backs out so I can get a rebound. I use my body a lot.
Third row.
Yeah, for all of you guys, Coach Cal has really emphasized the importance of just relaxing and enjoying the moment. How are you guys doing this during this tournament? Are you watching any of the games? What are you doing for relaxation?
Start far right. Cason.
Coach tells us not to watch the games because we don't know who will play, and we don't, we're playing our game. We got to worry about ourselves. But just being loose and free out there once the ball go up for tip-off. So I feel like we're well prepared and we'll be ready.
Chris?
Yeah, like you said, Coach tried to emphasize, not really watching any other games or worrying about, what's going on elsewhere, but just worrying about what we got to handle and what's in front of us. So I think we did a really good job of, staying locked in, not being nervous and playing free. And now that we got that one game under our belt, I think it's going to be, good for us to carry that into the next game.
Oscar.
You just make us to stay away from watching those games because sometimes by you watching a game, you start getting nervous. So it just make us create some fun game for ourselves. make us to stay away from phones, to stay focused, not let what is happening outside there affect us. So we're just gonna come in and fight and get it like a lot of sleep because our body need to rest to be ready for the game.
Middle of the room.
Blair Kirkhoff with the Kansas City Star. This is for Cason and Chris. I wanted to get your guys' impressions of Kansas State and what film study has told you about that team.
Cason.
They're a great team. They have a nice guard. He has the ball a lot, and that's one of my matchups. So I know he's a great player. He can shoot it well. He gets to the rack. He good at facilitating. So I have my hands full.
Chris.
Yeah, like you said, I think they're a really, really good team. I've been watching them throughout the season, seeing the success that they had. They're really aggressive, and they have Johnson, the wing on the other team is a really good wing. He's aggressive, he gets downhill, and he's really strong. And he also can play out the mid-range area pretty well. So, I think we've done a great job of scouting the team and understanding our matchups. We understand that we have a big-time matchup ahead of us.
Third row.
So this is for all of you guys. Last night, your teammates told us about the TikTok game that you were playing at the team dinner that had everybody laughing a lot. One, can you tell us about the game? And two, do you think John Calipari could play it?
Oscar.
That game, I told them to teach me. I'm still learning. I don't know how that game works. So they be playing the game. So I'm enjoying. I'm just recording and have fun. See them playing that game. So they might explain better.
Chris, teach us all.
All right, so basically in the game, it's like a shadow boxing game. So like you point a certain direction and the person goes that way, you get a point for that. So it's like you gotta like predict where the person's head is gonna go. And it's like, I think we've just been playing that for a little minute, but yeah, it's a little fun game.
Cason.
Could Cal play it? He actually played it today. He was doing it during our practice, talking about one of our teammates. But would he be good at it? Probably not.
Yeah, probably not. I don't know if he could react fast enough. But.
Third row.
Going back, Jeff Drummond with Rivals. Going back to the question you received about paying attention to the task ahead of you, the game you have. I'm wondering if last night you could hear any of the buzz going on in the arena while you guys were playing, kind of reacting to other games, and if you're able to block that out, or do you hear them chanting FDU, FDU, and going wild when a 16 seed defeats a 1?
Cason.
No, I didn't know about that.
Chris.
I ain't even gonna lie, I definitely did hear a lot of like, it was just like out of nowhere because it was coming out of a timeout and it was just like a lot of like noise and stuff and chanting. But I didn't look at the screen or anything like that to worry about the other game because I was still focused on what was going on in our game, but I definitely noticed it.
Oscar.
Yeah, I hear the noise loud, the people. I was confused to see the game is not going on, so how these people are screaming. So I did not know. I was like confused a little bit. I said, no, I'm not going to focus on that. I'm just going to focus on the game. So I did block my ears from pay attention on all those things.
Third row, right in front of me. Okay, we'll go to the back room. I'm sorry.
Mitch Fortner came in Radio Manhattan for either one of you. You brought up Marquise Noel earlier, their guard, number 1. Have you guys seen a player like that ever very often? 5'8", point guard that can do so many things, deep threes, to be unpredictable with the passing?
Cason.
Not really. I mean, some of the film that we watched today, I mean, he shot it a deep one, no rim, straight net. So seeing him shoot deep like that and get downhill, facilitating for his teammates, like, not everybody can have skill like that.
Chris.
Yeah, like you said, I don't think we really have seen that throughout the season. Except probably one time we played South Carolina. The point guard for South Carolina, Michi Johnson, shot a few deep shots, but I think his point guard for Kansas State's range might be a little bit more further out, so I don't think we've really seen that before.
Third row.
There were a couple of issues with the rim during the pregame. Did you notice anything different about the rim, and do you like the way the rims are here?
Oscar.
Say it again, please. I did not get that.
Yeah, during the pregame, they checked the rim on a couple of occasions, and there was a little bit of delay. And I didn't know if you noticed any difference in these rims, and how do you like these rims here in Greensboro?
I did not notice any different. We were coming out for warm up, and I see they were fixing it. I did not know what was going on. I was just waiting until they finish so we can start and shooting.
Chris?
Yeah, I didn't really pay that no mind. I just, was ready to warm up, waiting for them to get their job done. So I didn't really pay that no mind.
Cason?
Yeah, it didn't really affect us during the game. I mean, it gave us time to work on other things, ball handling.
Other questions for the student athletes? Okay, thank you, guys. Good job.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hey, John, Darryl Burr with the Cats Paws in Lexington. I guess we've probably gotten numb to watching Oscar do what he does, but there have been a lot of great rebounders. What does he do specifically that makes him the elite rebounder he is?
He's got a nose for the ball, and it's important to him that he goes and gets rebounds. He understands positioning, where the ball will probably come off to, and then he goes up, and now he rebounds with two hands. When he gets both hands on it, it's hard to get it away from him. Our own players have figured that out. They go try to grab it, and he grabs it with two. It's like, I'll tell a kid, I said, you got one rebound. He said, he jerked three out of my hands.
To our right?
Yeah, John Clay, Lexington Air Leader. John, coming into the tournament, people were saying this is not a Calipari-like defensive team. Yet Ed Cooley said last night that you guys were the best defense he's seen in a month. What did you do last night well defensively?
We were able to take away some of their things. I mean, the preparation was really good. Harder in a quick flip like this. It's just harder. And now you got to base it on principles. But the guys like Antonio, he's become a better defender. I think the injuries and who we were playing affected our defense some. Rim protection. Again, we've worked hard on what we're doing. Even if Oscar's, how are we playing? How are we cracking down? You just work on it every day. I mean, we're still coaching, still teaching, still giving these guys, building them up, giving them hope, belief. I mean, but a lot of it is you have more confidence when you're playing the right way. I believe Antonio Reeves is shooting the ball better because he's a better defender now. And you get clubbed 7 times, you think you're going to go down and be confident and make a shot? Kid's defending better. Jacob's defending better, playing tougher. Oscar still stands behind the post sometimes. I don't know. Kid, what don't you understand? And Damian got in and tipped that ball away. That was a big play. So, and then rebounding, it's not just one guy because Jacob and Chris Livingston are rebounding the ball well, too.
Middle of the room.
Coach Kellis Robinette here with the Kansas City Star. Jerome Tang, after last night's game, said he would go back and draw on some of the experience he had coaching against you when he was an assistant at Baylor. I was wondering if you maybe thought back to...
He can remember that?
He was
I
very
can't
vocal
remember.
about it.
You know what I remember? An ice storm in Dallas, and the game before us, we said, let's have the women play, and then we'll play. 4 overtimes later, we started the game at midnight, and it was an ice storm. We almost couldn't get out, almost couldn't get to the game. So that's what I remember. The rest of it I don't remember.
Okay. What kind of it stands out to you about the way he coaches and the team he has right now?
He's done a great job. I mean, defensively, disruptive, scrappy, 50-50 balls, freedom offensively, space the court, a bunch of really good players. He's done a great job. And you think of, where they were and where they are now and where they're headed, whew, great job.
Back right, Coach.
Josh Graham, WSJS. In the spirit of reminiscing, and also the fact you're here in North Carolina, I was hoping you could put something to rest.
To rest?
You've said a couple years ago you were close to taking the NC State job back when you were at Memphis, and recently Josh Pazner told us that you told him it was a bad pizza experience that might have led to you not taking the job. Can you?
Josh is out of his mind. No, they look. I've had people talk to me throughout my career, and NC State was one of those teams, and you know, knowing what that league was and all that stuff. But I ended up staying, and we had a heck of a run at Memphis, and it was the right decision for me and probably both programs. But no, pizza, I can't remember. That's the greatest thing about when you start getting older. You just say, I don't remember.
Back left.
Was he on the plane with us, by the way? Was Josh on the plane with us? He wasn't. He's just telling stories. He was on the plane with us?
He said it might have been bad pizza. That's what he told you.
No.
That's what he told me.
No. It was Mellow Mushroom Pizza from Raleigh. Really good place. Mellow Mushroom.
Coach Mitch Fortner from K-Man Radio in Manhattan. Marquise Noel, their point guard, #1 for Kansas State. Very unique player with his size and range. Have you ran into many point guards like him before?
No. And deep, quick, big-time usage, creates for his teammates. He is really, he's an All-American, and he deserves to be.
Back of the room, Coach.
Yeah, D. Scott Fritch and K-State Athletics. Coach, I was curious. I'm kind of doing something on Naquan Tomlin, number 35 at Kansas State. Seems like he's pretty athletic. I'm just curious your thoughts on him.
He's a good player. I mean, they have guys that are kind of positionless. Like you would say, is he a 4? Is he a 3? Is he a 5? What is he? He's just a basketball player, and he is a good athlete. He's a good player.
Middle of the room.
Coach, what do you tell your post players to do on defense when you go up against a team like this that doesn't necessarily have a traditional 5-man and they have a lot of stretch fours?
You're going to have to go out and play these guys. But the other side of it is they got to play us too. So it's okay. You know, we're coming at you, and they do a great job of trapping the post and creating opportunities to steal balls and be disruptive. The good news is the season that you play is to prepare you for these moments. Have we played anybody that plays like them? They also play some good zone. They do on the baseline out. They put a big man on the ball. They do some good stuff. They really do. And I got to see all that last night and this morning in all the tapes I watched.
Second row right in front of me, Coach.
Aaron Beard with the AP. I was going to ask you, so you were talking about playing free and loose with these guys for the last couple of days. There were moments during the season about frustration building and pressure and those types of things that we saw, like with Oscar, for example. Have they handled,
what did
like when he
Oscar?
talked about playing the walk-ons, for example?
There wasn't. He just, the greatest thing about him, sometimes he just says stuff. Like, could you imagine him coming up and say, Coach, play the walk-ons? Come on. He didn't. I said, why would you say that? I don't know. It just came to my mind. Okay. So, no,
Okay,
what happened was you have guys when you go through a season that you get hit in the mouth, and you got to learn how to deal with it. And this team, one, they needed to know I believed in them. And the second piece of it is they used it as fuel. And then we come back and we win big games. We lost some games I wish we had back. But I bet you there's every coach in the country that says that. I mean, but this is what basketball is. I said it before. This tournament is one game. And it's not best of 7 or best of 5 or best of 3. It's one game. Anything can happen. This year has proven it. Last year has proven it. The year before has proven it. It's you know, you hope you get your kids in a great frame of mind. You ready for this? And they're healthy. You got a healthy team. Because if you don't have a healthy team, touch and go because anybody can beat anybody.
Just to follow up on that, I was just going to say, are they? Would you said? Are they better equipped maybe now over time to handle this? Are
Not
you
over
changing
time.
anything
What
in your
they've
approach?
been through, what they've been through, I told them, who's more prepared for you to take knocks and punches and throws? And, you know, the biggest thing happens in this tournament, everybody's going to make runs. When they make a run on you, how are you going to deal with it? The water is boiling. What does it do to you? And I'm like saying, let's just be our best. Let's be our best when this thing heats up. Now, yesterday, we missed 7, 8 shots in a row. I wasn't sure we were our best, but I'll tell you where we were our best. We made free throws down the stretch at the end of the game. And that's with water boiling. And you stand up at that line and you make those free throws. And then Oscar's steal was a big play. You know, we did what we needed to do. We did not play. We played well offensively. We just missed shots that we need to make.
Third row.
John Huang, NOLA Media. John, I think you're familiar with a book called Ego is the Enemy. I know in the past that's been a big challenge, kind of tamping down the egos of the big stars, but it seems like with this team, it's almost been just the opposite, that you've had to constantly build the guys up. How challenging and taxing has that been, and why is ego so dangerous?
Well, you want them to have some swagger. No question, but the balls that we all of us coaches, and you know, everybody, and I'll say this again, every job in college basketball is a hard job. They're all hard. I said to a guy, I love the job I have. I understand what it is. I understand you take shots, that's fine. But we juggle balls as coaches, which is you must hold them accountable. You cannot just let them go on their own because you won't have a team. Yet, you got to build them up. So you have to hold them accountable, and sometimes you got to do it in a firm way. It's hard to say, you're better than that. I know you're better than that. Play harder. Sometimes you're being aggressive. It doesn't mean you're not being positive or you don't believe in them, but you're being aggressive to get change. Yet, you got to continue to build them up and get them to understand, I believe in you. Yet, this isn't good enough. You can do this. I told Antonio today, you made 11 in a row at Arkansas. How are you missing free throws today? What is that? And so, you know, we've got a team of good players, terrific guys that care about one another. When the water's boiling, we just need guys to step up. At the end of the day, games we've lost this year, a player on the other team stepped up and went nuts. So then who on our team steps up and goes nuts? So that's part of what we've dealt with. And now we got a bunch of guys. I think we've had 6 guys score 25 points, which means if you've done it once, means you can do it. I don't care who gets 25 in this game, and I don't think our team does either. Somebody step up and go get baskets.
To our right.
Hey, Cal. Tyler Thompson, Kentucky Sports Radio. The guys were telling us about the TikTok game, and they said you played it today at practice. Can you tell us about it?
I didn't
and how
play
did you
it. I saw one of the guys that's supposed to be the best at it not concentrating. And so I went, like you could do that for an hour, yet I can't get you to concentrate on this court for 3 minutes? Come on. And that's why they laughed. I mean, look, at the end of the day, I got to have fun at this too. And I'm having a ball with this group. I want them to have a great experience. Don't listen to anybody try to steal your joy. They got to do this. He's got to do that. That guy got it. We got to. It means nothing. Just go have fun. Let's see where this goes if we have an enjoyment. And if 2 teams are enjoying the game and playing well, probably whoever has the ball last wins.
Back of the room, left.
Coach Mitch Brown, Fox Lexington. The players said that this feeling of winning at this level is addicting, and they want to continue that. So with that being said, everybody has bought into their roles. Just how have you seen that progress this season, where when you were healthy or not healthy earlier on this season, you had to put other guys in other roles, and now they're all in their right role?
I would say they are, but we're still having a mismatch of how we're trying to play. You know, I mean, you know, we're shorthanded a little bit, but so are other teams. But they are, I'm telling them, be a star at your role. Be an absolute star at what you do for us. Who was a star at his role last game? Oscar, he got 25 rebounds, most in 53 years when they started the Waltons and Little House on the Prairie. And I mean, it was 53 years ago. He was a star at his role. He only had 8 points. He was a star at his role. How about you're a star defensively? How about you're a star at getting 50-50 balls? How about you're a star scoring baskets when we need it? How about you're a star defensively? You go block a shot and do that's. It's all just be who you are. Take what they give you. If they give us a lot of threes, we'll shoot them. If they're giving us drives, we'll take them. If they're collapsing, we'll kick out. I mean, just more right now. Less is more. Less is more right now. Because it is all about let's play our best, and that means clear mind, play with joy, have fun with each other. You're looking at me. I'm a cheerleader right now. I'm telling the staff, all you got to keep saying, be positive. Keep being positive. Sometimes when you're coaching, it may come across as you're being negative. When you're, come on, man, you're better than that. Go get that ball. They may take it as, oh, he's being negative. No, that's coaching. But sometimes you got to say, but you're doing good. You just keep playing. Keep shooting. I told Antonio last night, he ran by me. I said, you keep shooting the ball now. You let it go. I told Chris the same thing. Shoot the ball, man. They're wide open. Shoot it.
Middle of the room.
Yeah, John, you talk about the boiling water and the intensity of this event and all. How gratifying was it for you to see Damian perform the way he did, given everything he's been through this year?
He's been a pleasure, and it's been, you know, one of the high points of me coaching this season is seeing him come back from what he had to do. You may not know, folks, his dad passed away suddenly in Lexington, and we had to go, wasn't answering the phone. We went over, and eventually Damian went over to see too and was there, and it was awful. You know, Dad was young. He's the oldest. He's got a young brother, a young sister. Mom, Kim. I mean, it just was a rough time for him. Lost 17 pounds. Now you see him smiling, and I'm grabbing him and appreciate you, Coach. You know, I mean, those are the things that are most satisfying. Yeah, I want to win every game I coach. If you know me, you know that's how I am. I want to win every game I coach. But that is like a big-time win, what's happened for him. I come back to Jacob, where Jacob was, and now where he is now. That's a W. Oscar, 4 weeks of a knee surgery and being out for a while, and then him now coming into his own. Our freshmen doubting themselves. Now all of a sudden they're helping us. Antonio, same deal. Where he was and where he is now just makes you happy, because that's what we're about as coaches. We just want to see growth and see kids smile and be happy, and the growth, and they're that way. You're in the best position to win ball games.
Back of the room, on the aisle.
Hey, John. Noah Hiles, Pittsburgh Post-Gazette. Obviously, Western Pennsylvania heavily represented here in Greensboro this weekend. Curious to hear a story or just a memory of a young Sean Miller when you were recruiting him to Pitt.
Well, first of all, his dad was in my practice today. Darrell Porter and Jason Matthews were in my hotel room today. That was the backcourt, Brian Shorter and Bobby Martin. And so Sean, when I went to see him at Rochester High School, and his dad was really demanding. Great coach, better coach than Sean, me, Arch, all of us, okay? His dad was watching, I was watching the game. Sean went 12 out of 13 from the floor. Rochester was in the summer league. And I went up to Coach Miller and I said, man, he said, can you believe he missed that? Didn't hold his follow-through. If he held his follow-through, he made that shot. I mean, he was challenged his whole playing career. I want you to know now, he was Rookie of the Year, Freshman of the Year in the Big East back then. I know the Big East is good now, but back then it was crazy. Wasn't as many teams. I mean, it was nuts. and he was freshman of the year. Just a competitor. Love being around him. They're family. I mean, his grandmother raised my mother. I mean, I was in his grandmother's house more than I was in my own house. So, but he's, you know, and then seeing Pitt doing what they're doing. I mean, how they've done. Jeff's done it. He's done, you know, I mean, come on. These are all hard jobs. And when you struggle some and you got to bounce it and keep going, I always say that's when the real coaching happens. That's when you get knocked in the head and everybody's on you. And it's how do you keep focused on your kids and getting your team better and just stay away from all the clutter and not let anybody steal your joy? Well, he's done that at Pitt. And they were leading the ACC for a while. I mean, I'm like, they're going to win the ACC. And then Sean, the job he's done, you know, to step in and, you know, do the things he's done. And I even said to him, I saw him out there, I go, man, when you were down 13, I said, they won the game. And I said, well, how'd they do? They won pretty easy. And he said, my guy said, no, they were down 13. I went, you're kidding me. And they came back. It shows a lot. I mean, in this tournament, you get down 13, and the other team is playing loose and free because they got nothing to lose. And now every shot, every free throw becomes, again, that was a great job for him to get his team, win it and survive and march on. That's all we're all trying to do.
Last question, front row.
Coach, last night we were talking to Jacob, and he said he hoped no one ever got as low mentally as he did during this season. Have you ever had a player go from that low all the way up to, you name him, team captain before this tournament? And then what has it meant to this team and to you to see that turnaround?
Well, you know, I had to do some soul searching there too, because was I the reason he was where he was? Like, am I being too hard? Am I not realizing what this kid is going through? The expectations, my hopes and dreams, and they're vanishing before my eyes. And, you know, but he wasn't the only guy on my team that way. And we had some other guys go through the same, maybe not as hard as he went through it. But again, now you think if you're me and you're looking at these kids like they're your own children, and you see what he's done. Now, you don't think I'm ecstatic for this kid and his family? I told his mom, I'm so proud of your son, because he was in a tough place, and she said, I know. And I know. But what I've told all these guys, because there was an onslaught, there was the attacking mode, making it personal on these kids. And I said, look, what we all went through, you all in your life are going to be able to look back on this season, and you're going to say, if I could have gotten through that, I can get through anything. There's nothing I can't do with. And you may say, it's only a game. Put yourself in their shoes. Be 18, 19 years old and reading stuff on social media that is so nasty, it's ridiculous. And you're 19 and 20. We didn't deal with that stuff. None of you in here dealt with that stuff. But they have. And I told them, I said, look, nothing that you will go through, you'll be able to be challenged in any way, especially in this sport, and say, I can do this. Yeah, I may be down, and I may be under attack, but you know what? I've dealt with this before, and I came out on the other side pretty darn good. So I'm happy for him and all these kids. I mean, think about CJ. This poor kid can't catch a break. Every time I turn around, it's an ankle, it's a rib. I'm like, what in his hamstring? What is going on? And you know what? He's never changed his attitude. He's always upbeat. He's always helpful. How about I told him at Arkansas, when I knew Cason wasn't playing, I need you 5 minutes a half. Can you do it? He said, yeah, I'll give you 5 minutes. He gave me like 12 or 13. And in the end, he said, I can't breathe anymore. He's a broken rib. But without him, we don't win that game. That's what I'm talking. They've all been through stuff. Every player on this team has been through stuff. So I just want them to have a great experience. They deserve it. Don't know what that means. We know who we're playing. We know how good they are. I just want us to be at our best, and then we'll see what happens.
Thanks, Coach.
You.